Welcome back, American coin hunter, ladies and gentlemen, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and curious viewers around the world. Welcome to a journey into one of the most overlooked yet fascinating pieces of American history, the 1985 United States 1-cent coin. At first glance, it may seem like just a small copper-colored disc that jingles in your pocket or sits in your change jar, often unnoticed. But the 1985 penny is far more than just a coin. It is a symbol, a relic of history, and in certain forms, a collector's item that can spark both excitement and debate in the numismatic community. Today, we are going to take an incredibly detailed look at this coin, its physical characteristics, its design and symbolism, its historical context, and the stories of rare errors and high-value examples that have captured the imagination of collectors worldwide. Let's start with the basics. The 1985 penny weighs 2.5 grams, which is slightly lighter than its pre-1982 predecessors. The reason for this difference in weight is critical to understanding the evolution of the penny itself. Prior to 1982, pennies were primarily made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving them a richer reddish tone and a heavier feel. However, in the early 1980s, the price of copper soared. In fact, the value of the metal in a copper penny at one point exceeded the coin's face value, which led to hoarding and even melting of coins for profit. To address this, the U.S. Mint changed the composition, producing a penny made primarily of zinc with a thin copper plating. The 1985 penny is part of this modern, lighter generation, which combines economic practicality with the familiar look of copper. Its diameter is 19.05 millimeters, and it features a smooth edge, differentiating it from coins like dimes or quarters that have reeded edges. The obverse, or front side, of the 1985 penny is graced with the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, facing right. This iconic image was designed by Victor David Brenner and first appeared on the Lincoln cent in 1909, marking the centennial of Lincoln's birth. It was groundbreaking at the time because it was one of the first instances of a U.S. president appearing on circulating coinage. Around Lincoln's portrait, you will find the inscriptions "In God We Trust" above his head, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1985 to the right. Depending on where the coin was minted, you may also see a mint mark just beneath the date. Pennies produced in Philadelphia do not have a mint mark, while those from Denver bear a small d. San Francisco proof pennies carry an S mint mark and are struck with extra care for collectors, often exhibiting a mirror-like finish. In 1985, billions of pennies were produced in Philadelphia and Denver for circulation, while the San Francisco Mint produced a smaller quantity of proof coins for collectors. Turning the coin over to the reverse side, you will see the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo and introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The inscriptions on the reverse include "United States of America" along the top, "E Pluribus Unum" just above the memorial's archway, and the denomination 1 cent at the bottom. Every detail of the Lincoln Memorial, from the intricate columns to the statue of Lincoln visible inside the building, is faithfully rendered in miniature form. The design remained in use until 2008, after which new reverse designs were introduced to mark Lincoln's bicentennial and beyond. The 1985 penny is not just a coin. It is a reflection of the era in which it was produced. The mid-1980s were a time of economic shifts, technological innovation, and cultural change. People were using cash more frequently in daily life, from buying snacks at corner stores to tipping service workers or parking meters. Each 1985 penny that passed through someone's hands carried a story, a transaction, a moment in history, making even an ordinary coin a silent witness to everyday American life. Although the vast majority of 1985 pennies were produced in massive quantities, giving them a nominal value of just 1 cent, there are stories of rare variations and error coins that can make certain specimens highly desirable among collectors. Errors may include off-center strikes, double dies, broad-struck coins, or partial plating issues, where the copper layer is incomplete and the underlying zinc shows through. These anomalies, though rare, make coins particularly interesting and sometimes valuable, transforming what seems like a simple piece of pocket change into a collectible treasure. Before we go further into rare examples, grading, and market value, It's worth noting that the 1985 penny sits at a crossroads in the Lincoln cent timeline. It belongs to the modern era of zinc core pennies, but still carries the legacy of over 70 years of the Lincoln Memorial reverse design. It represents a transitional period where coin production had adapted to economic realities without sacrificing the aesthetic continuity that collectors loved. When you hold a 1985 penny, you are holding more than just a cent. You are holding a fragment of history, a piece of design evolution, and a potential collector's item that could, under the right circumstances, command attention and value beyond its face. As we continue exploring the 1985 penny, it's important to understand that while most of these coins are common and worth just their face value, there is a fascinating world of error coins and high-grade collector pieces that completely changes the story. Coin collecting is not just about the dates and mint marks you see on every coin. It's about condition, rarity, and anomalies, the small imperfections or unusual circumstances that elevate a simple penny into a sought-after collectible. Let's start with grading, because it is the foundation of understanding collector value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect, flawless under magnification. A coin in circulated condition, which has been used in everyday transactions, will typically have wear on the high points of Lincoln's face and hair, light scratches, and may even show discoloration or corrosion from years of handling. Most 1985 pennies fall into this category, making them generally worth just a cent. However, uncirculated coins, those that have never entered circulation, are a different story. Uncirculated coins are often referred to as mint state, abbreviated as MS, and they are graded MS60 to MS70. The higher the number, the better the condition, the fewer the blemishes, and the more desirable the coin. For example, a 1985 D penny in MS65 to MS68 condition could be worth anywhere from several dollars to a few $100s, depending on its rarity, color, and luster. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, especially in perfect PR69 or PR70 condition, also command premiums. Proof pennies are specially struck for collectors with sharp details and a mirror-like finish. Beyond condition, the most intriguing 1985 pennies are error coins, coins that were accidentally produced incorrectly during the minting process. The U.S. Mint produces billions of coins each year using highly automated machinery, but even with modern technology, mistakes happen. These errors create some of the most exciting finds for collectors. One common error type is the off-center strike. This occurs when a coin blank, or planchet, is not properly aligned between the dies when it is struck. Depending on how off-center the strike is, you may see part of Lincoln's face or the memorial cut off, with a blank area where the design should be. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the more collectible the coin becomes. Minor off-center strikes may only add a small premium, but dramatic examples can sell for tens or even hundreds of dollars. Another fascinating error is the broad-struck coin. Normally, coins are struck within a metal collar that keeps them perfectly round and forms the raised rim. Sometimes, a blank slips out of the collar during striking, producing a coin that is slightly wider and flatter with softer details along the edges. Broad-struck pennies from 1985 are extremely rare and highly sought after by error coin collectors because each one is unique. Partial plating errors are another intriguing variation. Remember, the 1985 penny is primarily zinc with a thin copper layer. In some rare cases, the copper plating does not cover the entire surface of the coin. This exposes the gray zinc beneath and creates a coin that looks unusual and visually striking. Collectors often pay a premium for these anomalies because they are rare, eye-catching, and unpredictable. Double die errors are also a possibility, although they are far less common for the 1985 penny than in some earlier years. A double die error occurs when the die that strikes the coin has a misalignment during its creation, causing elements of the design, such as letters, numbers, or Lincoln's profile, to appear doubled. Even subtle doubling can increase a coin's value, especially when authenticated and graded by professional services. It is also worth mentioning the overstrike errors, which are rarities where a coin is struck on the wrong planchet or over a previously struck coin. These are almost unheard of for 1985 pennies, but occasionally appear in collector circles. Overstruck coins are highly prized because each example is essentially one of a kind. They tell a story of a momentary mishap in the minting process and showcase the unpredictability of coin production. Now, let's address the myths and the viral stories you might have heard. Online, there are countless posts claiming that a 1985 penny is worth millions of dollars, sometimes even the figure $284 million. These numbers are not real market values. No verified auction record or numismatic source has ever documented a 1985 penny selling for anything remotely close to that figure. These stories are viral legends, often exaggerated for clicks, social media engagement, or dramatic storytelling. In reality, the 1985 penny, even in the most pristine condition, is usually worth a few dollars to a few $100s at most, unless it is a rare error coin. The viral stories reflect the imagination of the collector community, but the real-world market is grounded in authentication, condition, and rarity. Professional grading services, such as PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, are the standard authorities in determining a coin's condition and legitimacy. Coins graded by these companies often sell for significantly more than ungraded coins because buyers have confidence in their authenticity and quality. A certified MS-67 or MS-68 1985 penny from the Denver Mint, for instance, can fetch hundreds of dollars at auction, particularly if it has vibrant red luster and flawless surfaces. Proof coins graded PR69 or PR70 can also achieve premiums in the low three-digit range. Collector interest in 1985 pennies is also fueled by their place in Lincoln cent history. The coin represents the modern zinc-era cent, still featuring the Lincoln Memorial reverse that had been used since 1959. Collectors often aim to complete sets of Lincoln cents by year, mint mark, and condition. Within these sets, the 1985 penny is considered common, but it is still an essential piece for those looking to achieve completion. For collectors attempting to build a full set of high-grade or proof coins, a single 1985 coin in top condition can be a critical and sought-after acquisition. Beyond value, the 1985 penny offers historical and cultural significance. Imagine the world in which these coins circulated. The mid-1980s, during President Ronald Reagan's second term, a period marked by economic recovery, technological innovation, and cultural transformation. These pennies were used to buy everyday items: candy, postage stamps, soda, newspapers, bus rides, and more. Each coin carries the story of the transactions it facilitated, the people who held it, and the daily life of Americans during that era. Even today, holding a 1985 penny is like touching a small fragment of history. The 1985 penny also serves as a cautionary tale about the inflation of legends and misinformation in the coin collecting world. It reminds us that while some coins can achieve extraordinary auction results, especially rare errors from earlier decades, most coins, even those that appear mundane, have value primarily in historical context, collector demand, and condition. Understanding the difference between myths and reality is essential for anyone seeking to enter the world of coin collecting responsibly. Now that we have explored grading, error coins, and collector interest, let's move into some real-world examples to understand just how even an ordinary 1985 penny can surprise a collector. While most 1985 pennies remain worth just a cent, there have been notable sales of high-grade or error coins that highlight their potential value. And the stories behind these coins are fascinating. One of the most important factors in determining value is condition, and this is where professional grading comes into play. Companies like PCGS and NGC assign numerical grades to coins, ranging from 1 to 70. While a common circulated coin may grade anywhere between 1 and 59, uncirculated coins can reach MS60 to MS70. A 1985 D penny in MS67 condition, for example, represents a coin that has seen virtually no wear since leaving the mint. Its surfaces are bright, its edges crisp, and its copper-red luster untouched. Coins like these are highly sought after by collectors, and they frequently appear in auctions with price tags hundreds of times higher than face value. Proof coins, minted in San Francisco and identified by an S mint mark, are particularly collectible. A 1985 SPR69 or PR70 proof penny has flawless surfaces and a mirror-like background. Proof coins are generally struck with extra care, making them sharper and more aesthetically appealing than business strike pennies. These coins often sell for premiums ranging from $20 to several $100s, depending on the grade, rarity, and eye appeal. Error coins take value to an entirely different level. Take, for instance, partial plating errors. Since 1985 pennies are primarily zinc with a copper plating, a failure in the plating process can result in a coin that exposes the gray zinc core in unexpected areas. Imagine holding a penny where Lincoln's shoulder or parts of the memorial appear gray rather than copper. These coins are rare and visually striking, and collectors pay premiums for the novelty. Some partial plating errors have sold for several $100s in online auctions. Off-center strikes are another remarkable type of error. In an off-center strike, the coin planchet slips slightly during minting, causing the design to be skewed. The more dramatic the misalignment, the more collectible the coin becomes. A mild off-center strike may add just a few dollars of value, but a coin where Lincoln's entire face is partially missing can command hundreds or even over $1,000 when certified. Broad-struck errors, where the coin is struck without the restraining collar, are also rare. These coins appear slightly wider and flatter, and the details are softer than on a normally struck penny. Every broad-struck coin is unique, and their rarity makes them especially interesting to collectors who focus on minting anomalies. Double die errors are among the most exciting variations, though not as common for the 1985 penny as for earlier issues like the 1955 or 1972 cents. Double dies occur when the die itself has a slight misalignment during engraving, causing letters, numbers, or features to appear doubled on the coin. Even subtle double dies can be valuable when authenticated, particularly if they affect prominent areas like the date, Liberty, or Lincoln's profile. Now, let's talk about real-life auction stories, because these anecdotes highlight both the excitement and unpredictability of coin collecting. There are documented instances of collectors discovering rare error pennies and rolls of coins purchased from banks or found in circulation. One collector in the Midwest discovered a 1985 penny with a partially missing copper layer, and after certification by PCGS, it sold for several $100s. Another collector found an off-center 1985 D penny, which sold for over $1,000 at a regional numismatic auction. These stories show that even a coin produced in the billions can occasionally surprise collectors with its uniqueness. While viral claims sometimes exaggerate the value of ordinary 1985 pennies into the tens or hundreds of millions, the truth is grounded in real-world market data. Professional coin catalogs and grading services provide documented auction results for certified examples. High-grade MS 68 1985 D pennies, for example, are generally valued in the low hundreds of dollars. Proof pennies in PR 69 or PR 70 condition might reach slightly higher premiums, and rare errors can sometimes exceed $1,000. The key is authentication and grading. Without certification, even a visually striking coin may fail to achieve its potential value because buyers cannot trust its authenticity. Another important lesson from these auction stories is the value of patience and knowledge. Collectors often search through thousands of pennies to find just one unusual specimen. Some of the most remarkable finds are accidental discoveries. A coin pulled from a jar, a roll purchased at a bank, or even a coin kept in a family collection for decades. These accidental finds are what make coin collecting thrilling. It is the possibility that a single, ordinary-looking penny could turn out to be an extraordinary error coin worth far more than anyone expected. Part of the collector mindset also involves understanding rarity relative to survival rates. Although billions of 1985 pennies were minted, only a small fraction remain in pristine, uncirculated condition today. Many have been handled, scratched, or exposed to environmental factors, reducing their grade. A high-grade example is rare not because it was hard to mint, but because it survived decades without circulation. Similarly, error coins are rare not only due to the mistake in production, but because most errors are often caught and removed or destroyed by the mint or by collectors before entering circulation. In addition to physical characteristics and grading, eye appeal plays a role in value. Coins with striking color, sharp details, and attractive surfaces are more desirable than ones with discoloration or spots, even if both coins share the same numerical grade. A brilliant red 1985 penny in MS-65 condition may sell for more than a dull brown coin graded MS-66 simply because collectors value the visual aesthetics. Finally, understanding the broader historical context helps collectors appreciate why these coins matter. The 1985 penny represents an era of transition in American coinage. The zinc core, introduced just a few years earlier, was a response to economic pressures and metal costs. The Lincoln Memorial reverse, still in use from 1959, symbolized a mid-20th century aesthetic continuity. And for everyday Americans, these pennies were a tangible connection to daily life. Purchases, tips, charity donations, or vending machines. Holding a 1985 penny today is more than holding currency. It's holding a piece of history, a testament to production techniques, and, in rare cases, a potential collectible treasure. As we move deeper into the world of the 1985 penny, one of the most fascinating aspects for collectors is the idea that treasure can be hiding in plain sight. Millions, even billions, of these coins were produced, and the majority passed through everyday hands, exchanged countless times in pockets, cash registers, and vending machines. Yet, every so often, a collector or casual coin enthusiast finds a rare error or an exceptionally well-preserved example that stands out from the mass. Knowing what to look for is the key to uncovering these hidden gems. Let's begin with pricing guidance. Standard circulated 1985 pennies, whether from Philadelphia or Denver, are generally worth 1 cent because they are abundant and show wear from decades of handling. However, the market changes dramatically when you consider uncirculated coins, proof coins, and error varieties. For example, an uncirculated MS-63 1985 penny might sell for a few dollars, while MS-65 or MS-66 coins can fetch $15 to $50 depending on eye appeal and luster. Coins graded MS-67 and higher are rarer and can sell for $100 to $500 in auctions or through reputable dealers. Proof coins, particularly from the San Francisco Mint, have their own pricing scale. A PR-69 proof 1985 penny may sell for $20 to $50, while a PR-70 perfect coin can command upwards of $100 or more, especially if it has full, vibrant red color and flawless surfaces. Proof coins are naturally more collectible because of their limited production and superior quality, making them appealing to collectors who specialize in proof sets. Error coins, of course, tell a completely different story. Take off-center strikes. A mild off-center error might only fetch $10 to $50, but a dramatic off-center coin where most of Lincoln or the Memorial is missing could easily reach $500 or more, depending on condition and how the error presents visually. Partial plating errors often fall into a similar range, with coins that show large areas of exposed zinc typically being the most desirable. Collectors love these anomalies because they are unpredictable, striking to the eye, and often one-of-a-kind. Now, how do collectors hunt for hidden treasure in everyday pennies? The process begins with observation and patience. Many collectors purchase rolls of pennies directly from banks, or they sift through change they receive in daily transactions. They examine each coin for oddities, unusual colors, strange surfaces, irregular edges, or misaligned designs. A penny with a gray spot on Lincoln's shoulder, a doubled die on the date, or a slight off-center strike can instantly catch the eye of a seasoned collector. Collectors also pay attention to weight and feel, especially for zinc core pennies like the 1985 issues. While a standard penny weighs 2.5 grams, error coins with incomplete plating or broad strikes can feel slightly lighter or thicker. Some collectors even use magnification tools or a small scale to detect unusual coins before sending them for professional grading. Professional grading is the next crucial step. Once a potentially valuable penny is identified, collectors often submit it to companies like PCGS or NGC for authentication and grading. A professional grade confirms the coin's condition, verifies whether it is an error, and significantly increases market confidence. Coins that are certified as MS-68 or PR-70 often sell for multiples of the prices paid for raw, ungraded examples. This step is essential, especially when considering high-value errors or coins with exceptional eye appeal. One fascinating discovery process is the bankroll hunt. where collectors search through dozens, hundreds, or even thousands of rolls of pennies in search of errors or high-grade specimens. Many of the most remarkable 1985 penny finds have come from ordinary bank rolls, demonstrating that even in the modern era, opportunities still exist to uncover rare coins in circulation. These hunts require patience, attention to detail, and sometimes a bit of luck, but they are part of what makes coin collecting so exciting. Collectors also focus on mint marks. While Philadelphia pennies carry no mint mark, Denver coins feature a small D, and San Francisco proofs have an S. In many cases, Denver minted coins are more sought after for high-grade examples, simply due to survival rates. San Francisco proofs, though minted in far smaller quantities, are targeted primarily by proof set collectors. The subtle differences between mint marks can affect value significantly, especially when combined with condition and error type. Another tip for identifying valuable pennies is to examine the surface color. Copper-plated zinc pennies, when uncirculated and well-preserved, can retain a bright red luster, which collectors refer to as red or RD in grading terminology. Over time, exposure to air and moisture causes the surface to oxidize, turning coins brown, BN, or red-brown, RB. Red coins are more desirable and can sell for significantly more than their brown counterparts, even if the coin is the same grade. For example, a red MS-65 1985 D penny may sell for $50, while a brown MS-65 might only fetch $10, $15. It's also important to note that rare combinations of features can elevate value. Imagine a 1985 D-proof penny with partial plating error that is also graded PR69 or PR70. The combination of error rarity, proof quality, and near-perfect condition can make the coin particularly collectible and highly sought after among specialized numismatists. Although such coins are extremely rare, they exist, and their discovery can be life-changing for a collector. While many of these coins are found accidentally, seasoned collectors often study mint production records and historical documentation to identify years, mints, and varieties with higher error rates. For 1985 pennies, the sheer volume of production means that ordinary examples are common, but errors and uncirculated coins remain scarce enough to create value. As we continue our deep dive into the 1985 penny, it's time to explore real examples of error coins and high-grade specimens that have captured the attention of collectors, along with some of the notable auctions that demonstrate their market potential. While the average 1985 penny is worth just its face value, the rare and exceptional examples show just how exciting even a seemingly ordinary coin can be. One of the most famous types of error is the off-center strike. These coins occur when the blank planchet slips slightly out of position during the striking process, resulting in an incomplete or skewed design. For the 1985 penny, mild off-center strikes, where only a small portion of Lincoln's profile is missing, may fetch around $20 to $50 in uncirculated condition. But dramatic off-center strikes, where a large portion of Lincoln's face or the Lincoln Memorial is absent, have been documented to sell for hundreds or even over $1,000, depending on condition and grade. Collectors prize these coins because each one is essentially unique. No two off-center strikes look exactly the same. Partial plating errors are another fascinating variety. Since the 1985 penny is composed of a zinc core with a thin copper coating, any flaw in the plating process can create a visually striking coin. Imagine holding a penny where large areas of the gray zinc core are exposed, creating a two-toned appearance across Lincoln's face or the memorial. These errors are unpredictable and rare, which is why collectors pay premiums for them. Some of these coins have sold in the $100 to $300 range, and occasionally more, depending on the size of the plating defect and the overall eye appeal. Broad-struck errors, where the coin is struck without the restraining collar, are extremely rare for this year. These coins are slightly wider and flatter, with softer edges and sometimes incomplete rims. Every broad-struck coin is different, and collectors love them because they represent a freak of the mint that is impossible to reproduce. In auctions, broad-struck 1985 pennies in high-grade condition have been known to sell for $200 or more, especially when certified by PCGS or NGC. Double die errors are another exciting category, although not as prevalent for the 1985 penny as in earlier Lincoln cents. A double die occurs when the die used to strike the coin has a misalignment, causing elements of the design, such as the date, liberty, or even parts of Lincoln's profile, to appear doubled. Even minor double dies can increase value, and dramatic examples authenticated by professional graders can sell for hundreds of dollars. Now let's examine some notable auction results to give you a sense of what these coins can actually fetch. While number 1985 penny has ever approached the viral figure of $284 million, high-grade examples and error coins have still commanded significant prices relative to their face value. For instance, a 1985 DMS 67 red penny sold at a regional auction for around $250, while a 1985 SPR 70 proof coin fetched over $100 in a collector's sale. Dramatic error coins, such as off-center strikes or partial plating errors, have sold at online auctions for $500 to over $1,000 depending on rarity and eye appeal. These numbers highlight the realistic potential value of the coin in the collector market, grounded in verifiable sales rather than viral myths. Speaking of myths, it's essential to address the exaggerated claims often seen online. Social media posts, viral videos, and blogs sometimes assert that a 1985 penny is worth millions or even hundreds of millions of dollars. These claims are entirely fictional. No verified numismatic record supports such astronomical valuations. The coin market is meticulous, with prices determined by verified auction results, grading, rarity, and condition. While some historical pennies, like the 1943 bronze Lincoln cent, have sold for over $1 million due to extreme rarity, the 1985 penny simply does not belong to that category. Understanding this distinction is critical for collectors, as it helps avoid disappointment or misinformation. So, how should collectors approach buying, selling, or identifying valuable 1985 pennies? The first rule is patience and careful observation. Coins should be examined individually for unusual characteristics, off-center strikes, partial plating, double dies, or broad-struck appearances. Magnification, proper lighting, and even a digital scale can help spot subtle anomalies. Second, grading and authentication are essential. Sending coins to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC ensures that a coin's condition and error type are accurately documented. A certified MS68 1985 D penny will almost always command a higher price than an uncertified coin with similar characteristics, simply because buyers have confidence in its legitimacy. Third, collectors should focus on eye appeal and color. The 1985 penny, like all zinc core pennies, can appear in different shades: bright red, RD, red-brown, RB, or brown, BN. Red coins are the most desirable and can sell for significant premiums compared to their brown counterparts. Even among uncirculated coins, a vibrant, well-preserved red penny can outperform a slightly higher-graded brown coin in terms of market value. Fourth, mint marks matter. The D mint mark on Denver coins, S-proof coins from San Francisco, and even the no mint mark Philadelphia coins can have differences in survival rates, collector demand, and error occurrences. Understanding these distinctions can help identify which coins are more likely to command premiums. Finally, collectors should manage expectations. While rare error coins and high-grade specimens can bring impressive returns relative to face value, the vast majority of 1985 pennies remain common. Treating coin collecting as both a hobby and a study of history, rather than a guaranteed investment, ensures a rewarding experience. The excitement comes not just from potential profit, but from discovering history in your pocket, analyzing production techniques, and hunting for hidden treasures in everyday change. As we reach the final part of our journey through the 1985 penny, it's time to step back and appreciate this coin not just as currency, not just as a collectible, but as a tiny artifact of history. The 1985 Lincoln cent is more than a piece of metal. It is a witness to the era in which it was minted, a reflection of American design tradition, and a window into the lives of countless people who handled it in their daily lives. Let's start with historical context. The mid-1980s in the United States were marked by technological growth, economic changes, and cultural evolution. President Ronald Reagan was completing his second term, personal computers were becoming increasingly common, and video games and home entertainment were booming. In this dynamic world, the humble penny still circulated widely, facilitating everyday transactions, from buying a pack of gum to tipping a server, from parking meters to vending machines. Every 1985 penny carried a story, passing from hand to hand, surviving decades of wear, and sometimes finding its way into collections where it would be preserved for posterity. The design of the penny itself is a testament to continuity and historical reverence. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president, reminds us of the enduring ideals of leadership and liberty. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial captures architectural beauty and symbolizes the respect Americans have for their history and their heroes. The design also connects the 1985 penny to decades of Lincoln cents, tracing a line from the first 1909 coin through the mid-20th century and into the modern zinc-era pennies. Preserving these coins is a critical part of collecting. For those lucky enough to own high-grade examples, proofs, or error coins, storage and handling make all the difference. Coins should be stored in protective holders, away from moisture and direct sunlight. Avoid touching them with bare hands. The natural oils from skin can damage the copper plating or accelerate oxidation. Proper preservation maintains the coin's eye appeal, protects its value, and allows collectors to enjoy these pieces of history for decades to come. Collectors also cherish the educational and hobbyist value of coins like the 1985 penny. Searching through rolls, spotting unusual colorations, identifying errors, and comparing grades all foster knowledge, attention to detail, and patience. Even if a coin is not worth a fortune, the thrill of discovery and the connection to history make the hobby deeply rewarding. That it's also important to remember the realistic market perspective. While viral posts and exaggerated claims may inflate expectations, the 1985 penny is primarily valuable in three ways: condition, rarity, and error types. Circulated coins are almost always worth face value. Uncirculated or proof coins in excellent condition may reach a few $100s, while rare errors, partial plating, off-center strikes, broad-struck coins, or doubled dies can fetch higher premiums. Professional grading by PCGS or NGC provides verification and confidence, ensuring collectors get a fair market value for exceptional specimens. Yet, even beyond monetary value, the 1985 penny carries symbolic significance. It represents an era of transition in U.S. coinage, the switch to zinc cores, the continuation of the Lincoln Memorial reverse, and the ongoing legacy of the Lincoln cent design, which remains an iconic part of American culture. Every coin is a reminder that even the smallest objects can carry enormous historical, cultural, and emotional weight. For those who love numismatics, the 1985 penny is a perfect example of how ordinary coins can become extraordinary. Whether it's the excitement of spotting a minor error, the satisfaction of finding a red MS-65 example in a bankroll, or the connection to decades of history, this humble coin offers countless stories, lessons, and possibilities. It demonstrates that coin collecting is not just about money. It is about curiosity, discovery, and preserving the past for future generations. So, as we close this journey, remember this: your jar of pennies, that old coin roll, or even the coins in your pocket could hold a piece of history, a rare error, or an unexpectedly valuable example. The 1985 penny is a testament to the idea that every coin has a story, every mint mark tells a chapter, and every collector has the chance to uncover hidden treasures in the most ordinary of places. In the end, the 1985 penny reminds us that value is relative, history is enduring, and discovery is timeless. Whether you are a casual collector, a history enthusiast, or a dedicated numismatist, holding a 1985 penny is holding a piece of America, small in size, but large in significance. Thank you for watching this detailed exploration of the 1985 US 1-cent coin. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share so that more people can discover the hidden stories behind everyday coins. Keep collecting, keep exploring, and remember, treasure is often hiding in plain sight.